Hello, you guys. I am coming live tonight because I wanted to shed some light on sexual assault and be an advocate because a lot of women have experienced this in their life, and a lot of times it just doesn't. It goes on and it's not talked about, and people don't like to share their stories, and they're ashamed. They feel guilty, and it just doesn't get talked about a lot. But there's a lot of women out here that struggle with post-traumatic stress disorder. They don't even understand that, they're indulging in toxic behaviors due to the fact that they haven't actually processed the trauma that they've been through. And also, they have never been able to be completely honest about the situation. They've never been able to get sound advice. I know I was in foster care, and then I was adopted. I was court ordered to go to therapy. I personally experienced sexual assault at the age of 16 when I was not living at home and I was living somewhere. And this is how it usually happens. It's usually young girls who are off because something's going on in their home and they don't want to be in the home because of abuse or just, problems are going on in the home that they're running from. And so they turn to the streets or friends or close people to them, and they're not always the best people to be under their care. So I wanted to share with you guys an article that I had stumbled upon, and it's crazy. It's dated for January 24th, 2021, and the article was about an investigation in Los Angeles. It actually was on the news. But it's called, I'm just going to give you a breakdown. It says, an investigation in South California dubbed Operation Los Angeles found 33 missing children in recent weeks, including 2 youth found multiple times at commercial sex trafficking locations. Christy Johnson, assistant director in charge of the FBI's Los Angeles field office, revealed some details of the 10-day operation on behalf of more than 24 law enforcement agencies that work to identify, locate, and return the missing young people. The operation came 2 months after another effort in Virginia recovered 27 youths. Some of them were runaways, sometimes found with other family members and teens in the foster care system. So this is how it happens. These girls are out here trying to survive, and then they get taken advantage of. And it says, of the 33 children recovered, 8 were being sexually exploited at the time of the recovery. 2 of them were recovered multiple times during the operation while on the track, a term used to describe a known location for commercial sex trafficking. It is not uncommon for victims who are rescued to return to commercial sex trafficking either voluntarily or by force, fraud, or coercion, Johnson said. Several other victims... I'm following on the article. So it says, hold on, you guys, give me 1 second. Several other victims have been sexually exploited in the past and were considered vulnerable before their recovery. So they're in a vulnerable position because they're out there on their own and they don't have the protection of their parents and people who really have their best interests at hand. So it says one suspected human trafficker was arrested. The operation resulted in the arrest on state charges of one suspected human trafficker and the opening of multiple criminal investigations. The FBI said some of the minor victims were arrested for probation violations, robbery, or other misdemeanors. One child was a victim of non-custodial parental kidnapping. And then, so these are basically women, young girls who have that are in a vulnerable place. They're not in their homes. They're not under the care of their parents or a responsible adult, and they run into these men that say, "Oh, I'm gonna take care of you," or they manipulate them into believing that they're gonna get help, and then they end up exploiting them and doing crazy stuff to these women. And I was in a situation very similar to that, and there was multiple incidences that I had been involved in. And it's easy to like get wrapped up into it, especially when you're out there on the streets and you're by yourself. And so I just wanted to bring awareness of this because it's like kind of like the elephant in the room. It's going on. I mean, it's happening every day, and no one likes to talk about it. I don't see women's support groups, and maybe it's just because I haven't really looked into it myself. But I had called the police department, and they had directed me to a specific number and hotline for sexual assault advocacy, because I am actually right now building an online course, you guys. So if you know any woman that's experienced it, if you've personally been through something similar, I worked through my issues. I finally I had a breakthrough where sorry, my nose is kind of running because it's cold out there, you guys. It's really cold today. But if you're from Minnesota, you know that it ain't nothing compared to some days. So stay warm. Side note. That was a side note. But I wanted to let you guys know that I am going to... Hey, boo. Hey, Keely. Hey, Paris. Hey, beautiful ladies. If you just tuning in, I'm talking about Operation Los Angeles and it's healing time. Exactly. It's healing time. Angela Peterson. Hey, boo. It's healing time, and it's time for us to empower each other. We have to start these conversations that are hard. You know, when I started to be honest with myself, I went to therapy, and I'm telling you, therapy is not for everybody, but I was in a point in my life where I finally was like, I want to talk to somebody who's not going to judge me, and I didn't know who to go to. The adults that I did tell about the situation when I was young, they weren't good adults. They told me not to say anything. I was 16. I told them I was sexually assaulted, and they told me don't say anything because they knew the people that did it to me, and they wanted to protect them. So these are the situations some people are going through, and it's real. It's real. Hey, Angela, again. I don't know if I gave you a shout out. I wanted to say hey, and God has really come into my life and started working something out in me, and he's really been opening doors. He's opened my awareness to things. He's been teaching me things. Hey, it was your birthday, so happy belated birthday, boo. So I just took a profitable online course that told me about how to start my own e-course and how I can help people on things, something that I've already had experience in. I got my bachelor's in criminal justice. I've got my story and I got my experience and I overcame it, and I can share that with people, and it could help other women want to share their story and seek help, because you don't want the one experience you go through to follow you 10 years down the line and derail your whole life because you're running and you're coping with it in a negative, in a toxic way, where you're doing drugs, you're overly having sex with different men. You know, you might be exposed to like things like other situations, like risky situations, because you're drinking, you're around people that are doing these kind of toxic behaviors, and you're just trying to be happy. You're trying to maintain, you're trying to cope with what happened. And if you were never taught this and you never be able to be honest, then you might not know how to deal with it. You don't know like the good way. Hey, Zenova. I hope I said your name right, because it's been a while since I seen you, boo. And I know you had your baby, Letitia. Hey, girl. Hey, boo. Thank y'all for chiming in. But I will be starting a business page outside of this. This is my personal page, but I'm going to start a business page, and I'll get you guys some more information on that. But like I said, it's called Operation Los Angeles. 33 minors were rescued from a known commercial sex trafficking site, and this is going on all around the world. I hate to say it, but a lot of minorities, African American women, were the victims. I mean, there are other races. I'm not going to say there's not other people that get wrapped up into it, but unfortunately, because we are a lot of the times the ones that are going through grow up in poverty, we're in broken homes. I don't know if anybody knows about the broken windows theory, but when you go into a neighborhood and how things are kind of damaged, and then how it just keeps, the problem just keeps escalating and it gets worse and worse. That's broken windows theory, basically. In a nutshell, I'm trying to sum it up. But and so we grow up in these homes that are, you know, abusive or, you know, just really dysfunctional, and we don't have our parents to teach us how to live our lives, how to, you know, handle our emotions. You know, my dad was very violent. When he would get mad, he would just react, and he'd be like ready to punch somebody. He'll be ready to get you together, as he would say. So and we don't need to do that. That's not how you handle things. Just because you're upset, you don't have to react to situations poorly and respond in a way that is going to hurt somebody else. And so I wanted to get on here, and I wanted to tell you guys about what I'm doing. The article I had came across. I do have an e-course. I've already got it developed. And hey, Antonio, first guy that is actually tuned in. If you didn't get to see it, I'm talking about Operation Los Angeles and how 33 women were rescued in California from a known commercial sex trafficking site. Sometimes it says, sounds wonderful and I love you are doing this. Sometimes we are speaking to people who need to hear what you have to say. I love it, and you too. I love you too, exactly, because you never know who's gonna tune in, who's watching, and yeah, they stumble. This could reach people that I've never even thought of to have a conversation with. So you're right. That's why I'm on here talking about it right now. So stay tuned, you guys. I will always keep you posted. If you weren't able to get in here when I was just talking, you can go ahead and watch my video. I'm about to put it up and finish it. And stay tuned for my website, my official business website, and then the e-course launch when I launch the course. And if you know somebody, or you've personally experienced sexual assault as a minor, or even any time in your life, and you just need someone to talk to, or some support, or some resources, I can help you out. So that was my positive, yet not, I mean, it wasn't really positive, the story, but that was me trying to be positive in this moment, offer some help, inform some people, and let you guys know what I'm doing. So stay tuned, and I love you guys. It's your girl, Jazzy B. I'll be back. Good night.